Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Curtain, where we examine the astrology charts of the famous and the infamous to find out what they show the world and what they hide. I'm Donna Saul with the extraordinary astrologer Francis Dunnery, and this is Behind the Curtain. Many of you know Francis Dunnery as a chart-topping musician with a long list of credits as frontman, producer, and musical virtuoso who toured with some of the biggest names in music history. But what you might not know is the power of his astrology readings. His deep knowledge and skill exceeds the typical, you're going to have a bad day next Tuesday, as I like to say, and instead focuses on core and complex issues that make up how you inhabit this world. You can book him at francisdunneryastro.com or at moonstoneandsage.com. And today we're talking not only about the energies of the skies we are living under currently, but also about Eric's personal favorite, Michael Jordan. He's an American professional basketball player and current businessman who is the minority owner of the Charlotte Hornets and the National Basketball Association. He played 15 seasons in the NBA between 84 and 2003, winning 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls, widely considered to be one of the greatest players of all time. Right?
Yep.
Right? Okay. Hey, welcome, Francis.
Hey, Donna, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Eric is so happy today. I don't usually drag him into things, but we're dragging him in today because this is like the top person for Eric in his sports world.
My top request.
He's an interesting guy, as you'll find out. He's a pretty interesting guy. He's pretty much what comes on the package, to be honest. Like when you have a look at his astrology, We've got some stuff behind the scenes which we're always keen to get into. And where you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. I just want to make sure Eric can hear you. And you can hear him.
And so, anyway, but, we'll get to Michael in a minute. Now, in the sky today, there's a lot of optimism. We've got the sun, we've got Venus, we've got the moon, and we've got Mercury. They're all in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the meaning of life. It's the great meaning of life. Now, we paint the world a colour. This is what I like to say. We paint the world a colour, and then we have to live in the colour we painted. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of deep.
But it's kind of because there's a concept that the world is like this, or the world is like this. Concept of the is world actually doesn't exist. There is no is world. It's the color we painted, whether you like it or not. I mean, somebody could listen to this radio show and say that's the greatest thing I've ever heard, and somebody can say that's the worst thing I've ever heard, because the radio show is just there for people to paint it as they want. And the world's like that. You can have a great day, but in the sky today, there is the opportunity to have a great day. Because it's full of optimism and it's full of joy. There's some other stuff going on which I'll tell you about in a second, but there's, in a general sense, there should be a feeling of hope somewhere swirling around in each individual. And if it's not swirling around, then that's up to you. But it's definitely there.
Okay.
Like if you want to go downstream in the river, it's there. You just got to jump in and go in that direction. And if you don't, if you want to sit there and sulk, then sure, all right, you can have a bad day. But the meaning of life, it's a good time to book your travel plans. This is all kind of the pop astrology. Sagittarius is the archetype of travel and expansion, and it's a good time to join Moonstone and Sage Spiritual Center to expand your knowledge of the universe. It's a good time to go to my website and book Udemy and book an astrology course. Anything you can expand, right? So whenever you're expanding, any expansive kind of consciousness stuff with the meaning of life, it's a great time for that to take on.
Is this just today, or is it like the next
over the next few months? The moon's in there today, so this is a good day. But the sun will be there for the next 4 days. Okay. Venus will be there for like the next few weeks, and Mercury will be there for the next few weeks. So it's just right now. There's 4 of them in there. The moon will shift by the end of tomorrow. But there's 4 of them in there right now. So this is a good day for Sagittarians. It's a good day for optimists. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got Mars in Capricorn, which means there's a whole business. And I've got to be real careful because I'm a Capricorn and my sun is at 2 degrees of Capricorn. And right now, as we speak, Mars is at 2 degrees of Capricorn. So if I'm not careful, I could be particularly aggressive.
Oh,
that
really?
energy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or I could channel it into my ambition, Capricorn's, again, pop astrology is like the archetype of ambition and social standing. Who am I in the world? So it's a good time for me to be someone. I am someone, Donna. I am the great me, right?
Yes, you are.
So it's a good time to be the great me. So I'll push on the great me. I'll do that. Jupiter's gone into retrograde in Cancer, and that's going to shift in March. But right now, there's things of family and security and stuff like that to have a look at. What we want to try and do with this energy, we want to try and look at any old wounds that people have got with their families, and this is a great time to fix those old wounds. There's a lot of old wounds that people carry out. They've fallen out with people, they've had arguments with people, especially recently, like with all the politics and all that stuff going down. And people have gone nuts and well, I'm not talking to you because, you like Nancy Pelosi or something. There's all that stuff going down. And this is, just put the stuff down. Let's just put it down. Let's just chill it out, pull it down, and go and say, hey, you know what? I got a bit out of control. I was a bit angry. I'm sorry I said those things. And you know what? You're my pal. I love you, and I'm not going to have that stuff interfere with our relationship. So this is a great time to do that.
And if you take a shot and it's gone, then you don't have to worry about it, right? Because you took your shot.
Yeah, you just do the best you can. Like, don't worry about what they say or anything. Don't get into that. Just you put yourself forward and just put your ego down if you want things, like if somebody says to me, I want $1,000, and they say, okay, crawl across the carpet and make a noise like a seal. All right, I'll just do that. It's like, well, you look like an idiot. I don't care. I got my $1,000. Who cares? Yeah. Everybody will forget this soon. So if you really want it, what action are you prepared to do to get it? So just put the stuff down with your family and stuff like that. You need to heal your family. This is a good thing. Old wounds for the family. There's no better time to do it than now. And you'll have a better Christmas. You'll have a better holiday period. True. A better New Year. Just put it down. Put the stuff down.
And this is not just today, right? This is over the next couple days, weeks.
This is over the next while. I think it goes to March. I think Neptune, Jupiter's retrograde until March. So
all
and then you ran us
4 months. So 4 months then, basically, 3 months, right?
Yeah, because the further out you go, the bigger the orbit is. So the longer the retrogrades take. You know what I mean? Like when you get like Pluto in retrograde, it takes ages. It's like so. And we've just had 2 of those released. We had Saturn and Neptune go forward now, so that's going forward. It's going to go into Aries. The Aries people are going to have the challenges. The Pisceans have been challenged now for a while, for a long time now. The Pisceans have had a good old beating in many different ways, but that's about to come to an end for them. It's going into Aries, so the Aries is about to be challenged, which is a good thing for them. We like a bit of Aries challenge. They're going to be asked to finish things which they don't like. They like starting them, but they don't like finishing them. So they're going to be asked to finish. They'll be like, hey, I'm going to go up the hill. I'm running up the hill, and they get halfway up the hill and they go, I don't want to be up the hill. It's like, no, get up the hill. It's like that. So, but that's about to go. And then Uranus goes direct in March again, and so that's when we have a full set all going forward. So everybody, and I'm going to predict this, because you can never tell with prediction, because it can always like run a bit weird. So I'm not predicting it in stone. I'm just saying that we're kind of set up to have a moment because of the severity of the kind of emotional zeitgeist we've been living under. We're about to have a release of that. Like there's about to be some like some resolve on that stuff. It's the retrograde stuff has kept it in the questions going, but there'll be some resolve on it next year. So I would say you could get anything from like people will just feel better. Sometime around about the spring or summer, fall, it's a good time. You know what I mean for that. So that's what's going on in the sky now.
Well, I'm glad to hear good news.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. But if you paint it as bad news, you're going to get bad news.
That's true, and it's all about perspective, right? I mean, the universe it'll respond to whatever you put out there for it, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So if you're hell bent on being miserable, then that's what's so sad about this political thing, is because what you don't understand when you're screaming about these politicians, you're ruining your own life. Yeah, and they don't care. Yeah. You're not bothering them.
100%.
100%. So your whole life's going down the pan. It's like, it's not good.
No.
So put it down.
I like it.
That's all I've got to say, Donna.
That's okay. We're going to take a break, hear from our sponsors. When we come back, you're going to make Eric very happy. And we're going to be talking about Michael Jordan. This is Behind the Curtain. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome to Behind the Curtain. I am Donna Saul with astrologer extraordinaire, musical virtuoso.
You're so nice to me, Donna. You keep saying all those nice things all the time.
It's all true. And I tell people all the time, I said it in the opener, that, you know, you're not that astrologer that's going to say, oh, you're going to have a bad day next Tuesday and you might want to cover your butt on this day. You're not that guy. You're those deep core stuff about how you exist in this world and how you can exist better and stop beating yourself up about things because it's just maybe in your nature or in your chart. Same thing, right? You're going to end up in that same place. So thank you. We're going to talk today about Michael Jordan. Eric's going to join our conversation because this is the holy grail of conversations for him. And I say that respectfully, of course. Mm-hmm. And I know you said, Francis, this guy's... well, I'm not going to ruin it for Eric. You could tell him what's behind the curtain later, but this is an interesting man. It's an interesting man.
Very interesting man. I think, before we even get to that, I think the precursor would have to be these extraordinary sports people or just people in the world who do extraordinary things, especially in sports, you know, because there's people like Michael Jordan or even Larry Bird. There's like Ronaldo, the soccer player. You know, there's like these tennis players like Djokovic and all these, you know, Chris Evert, Lloyd, and there's just these people, McEnroe, Bjork, like all these, that people say, well, what is it about them that makes them exceptional? And they say that, well, Michael Jordan's dad made him practice for 13 hours a day. Well, a lot of kids' fathers did. Oh, well, Michael Jordan was from a poor family, and that, well, a lot of kids were. Oh, well, Michael Jordan's dad used to have a car, and he would take it. Well, a lot of people. So these things that people try to say what it is that makes them exceptional, because they have all the same things as everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is it that makes them different? Like, where does exceptional performance come in? And this goes into business, this goes into sport, this goes everywhere. Even when, you go to your sales meetings to do these things, what is it that makes the exceptional people happen? And what it is that it's how it's occurring for them. The game's occurring for Tiger Woods very different than it's occurring for somebody who's never come more than 20th in a competition. It's occurring for him so say for Michael Jordan, somebody like that, it's not occurring for him like, oh, well, I might get beat and I don't want to be embarrassed. Some people, it's occurring for them that they don't want to be embarrassed. Oh my God, I'm playing Michael Jordan tonight. He's going to embarrass me. Michael Jordan, it's occurring for him, hey, I'm going to get to be the golden boy. And so he goes out and he gets to be the golden boy because he's, so first of all, before we even get to his astrology, that method applies across the board to people who are exceptional in their work, even in business. How it's occurring, what's occurring for us? How is the world occurring for you? I know you have a lot of time things going on, like you rush from one place to the next. You've got that much going on. It's occurring for you as like, I've got to get here and I've got to get here and I've got to get in. It doesn't have to be like that, and I'm not even saying it's wrong, but I'm saying, but that's how it's occurring for you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? The world's occurs for you. It's like loads of things happening. I've got to get there, and I've got to get there, and I can't, and I won't have time to, and I've got to do this, and I've got to. It's occurring for you like that.
Well, it's an interesting point because Eric was talking about Michael Jordan before the show, and he was saying that he was not a very popular teammate, but he always knew.
He was
and
never
jump
part
in,
of the team.
Eric.
He was never part of the team.
No, but he always had the better than, and I might not be paraphrasing in an incorrect way.
Like, he was very focused on winning, and his whole quote was that winning came at a price, and that he was very hard on his teammates because of that. So that was something, like, I was really curious just about his star sign and whether that is something that's written in the stars, maybe that's something that's just his personality.
Of course. He was never in a team, Eric. He was never in a team. He was on his own, and there was people helping him be the golden boy. That's how his chart is. But his moon is in Sagittarius, so he's an eternal optimist. This is a guy who believes that this is the glass is half full. Like, he's not going there on defense. He's going there in an attacking mode. He's an eternal optimist. Like, even when they're 20 points down, he still thinks he can win. So this is a guy, and he's also, because it's in the 6th house, he's got the moon in the 6th house. This is a guy whose strategy is second to none. He knows how to run these, like he's a strategist. Like, he knows how to get that done. And his moon, he can't go down. If Michael Jordan gets sad, he's done. He's out. He's completely gone. Because he'll be fearful. It'll make him fearful. So what keeps him from being fearful is the fact that he always remained eternally optimistic about everything. And so no matter what come at him, it's the kind of philosophy of the barn's burnt down, now I can see the moon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's that. Mm-hmm. It's like whatever you did to him, he would see something. It would occur for him as something positive. Mm-hmm. Even when he got beat, he would have it as a learning experience. Well, I learned something from it, so it wasn't really a defeat. Mm-hmm. The guy can't handle disappointment. So most of his, and I'll tell you, he's got the same. And I know we keep bringing back the Orange Man bad, but again, we got Trump has got the same thing. He can't handle disappointment. They just can't handle it. They can't handle it. It just doesn't work for Michael Jordan. It's just, and so his moon forces him to make things positive, because at the bottom line, if he gets beat, it's not just a defeat in a game, it's his entire life's devastated. So he's got what's the word I'm looking for? His drive, his reason for being there is to figure it out. He's going to figure out how to make it work. So that's the first thing about him. Now, you mentioned his teammates. He doesn't have any teammates. He's got Saturn in Aquarius. He's got the lone wolf syndrome. So he's not on the team. This isn't a guy who doesn't fit in. He never saw himself as fitting in. He was never in a team. And even though he's an Aquarian, he's quite, he's emotionally detached, Michael Jordan, which is his shadow, which I'll get to at the end, what's behind the curtain, his inability to connect with anybody at a personal level. I'll get to that in a minute. But just briefly, he was never in a team. This was Michael and the other lot that helped him to be the great golden boy. He's got Mars in Leo, and so he was, and also with his finances. One of the things that he does, he's very, very proud of what he's done financially. He's got the moon, he's got Mars in the second house in Leo. This is a guy who loves to be like rich and lavish. He loves it. That's part of his drive. He loves that. Like he wants to be the showman. He's also, he's like the quintessential knight in shining armor. He would love that. So he would see himself as like, the town was being defeated, then he came in and he saved, this is what's driving him. He saved the day for the town. He was the hero of the town. It's like one of that type of energy. And so with Venus in Capricorn also, his social values, he's very snobby, Michael Jordan. He's a real snob. He's a real uppity kind of a snob, and he won't really have much to do with you unless you are somebody. Like that, like his judgment is on that. He's got Venus in Capricorn, so he's very kind of, he's proper in a way. I don't know, I've never seen his spending habits or anything like that, or what type of decor he has in his house or anything like that, but I would say the partners he picks would probably be very conservative, and they wouldn't be like loud, boisterous, or, half naked or anything like that. He wouldn't take too kindly to that. Like his relationships, and he would pick relationships that made him look better in society. Like he would, that's a big part of his choice. Like, I want somebody who makes me look more sociably, like he's very concerned with being socially, socially accepted, but
status, standing?
Status, it's the Kate Middleton thing again. It's that whole thing. It's like proper, it's proper stuff. Like, it's got to be, it's proper. Like, it's not some, like, he's not interested in he's not interested in being rich. He wants to be wealthy. Do you know what I mean? There's a big difference. There's rich people out there and there's wealthy people out there. Yeah. The wealthy people are often quiet about it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of wealthy people in England. Like, you go to England, they're wealthy, they're cheap. And they wear like second-hand clothes, and they own half of France or something, but you'd never know, because they're wealthy. They will, it has nothing to do with, but rich people tend to want to show it off. That's the thing that rich people do. And God bless them. Like what?
I was going to say, it almost seems, going back to, like, you were talking about his drive, like, it seems like that's something that's not only on the court but off it. Like, he's been owner of several teams. He is known to gamble a little bit as well. So it's like that drive and that determination to be successful extends well beyond the court, which I found really fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that kind of is who he is, right? And you were talking about what's the definition of exceptional behavior, what makes it exceptional, and him showing up as him, only expecting positive, and all of these people around him are just there to make him look good. That kind of explains it, right?
And of course it gets confirmed for him, because it's occurring for him like that, and it gets confirmed because it kind of is like that. I mean, how long have we got left? How long have we got left? Because I want to get behind the curtain in a minute.
We're like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So Michael had Saturn in the 8th house, right? And Saturn in the 8th house is a difficult placement sometimes, because the 8th house is the Scorpio house. So it's the house where you have to be vulnerable. You know, Scorpios come in with a natural vulnerability about them. They're born at the time of the year when the crop is being killed, being assassinated, so to speak, in order for it to grow again the next year. You know, if we don't chop the crop down and kill it, then there's no growth next year. Mm-hmm. And Scorpios are kind of tuned into that thing where, and again, I always repeat to you, Donna, especially being a Scorpio, what Joni Mitchell said. She said, nothing lasts for long. And I love that because it's so scorpionic, it's so penetrating, yet it's so simple and it's true. It's like, yeah, nothing lasts for long. Like even life doesn't last for long. And like, you know, so relationships don't last for long, the blah da da lasts for long, the kids living at home doesn't last for long, the dogs don't last for long, the rabbits don't last for long. Nothing lasts for long. It's such the most scorpionic statement I've ever heard. And so Scorpios are vulnerable by default. And they have to find a way somehow, through finding people who'll be loyal to them, they have to lay themselves bare and risk being assailed. This is why Scorpios have such a difficult time, because they're so sensitive. Scorpio gets a bad rap. Scorpio, if you can be palled up with a Scorpio, you won't get a better friend than that. But you've got to be vulnerable with them. If you want to make friends with a Scorpio, you have to be vulnerable, because they need to know they can take you out at any second. They won't do it. You know, it's like, but knowing that they can, knowing that they're not, you know, that it isn't only them that's vulnerable, then that you can have a conversation with them, right? And so, you know, to be vulnerable with the Scorpio is one of the best ideas that anybody can have if you want a good thing. So Michael, in the 8th house, which is the Scorpio house, he can't make a connection with somebody because he's afraid of being ordinary. He's got Saturn in Aquarius. He's terrified of his own ordinariness. And this is one of the things that defines him. This is behind the curtains. He feels like he's got to be different, like he can't just fit in. This is why he's not part of the team. And he'll accuse people of leaving him out, but in actual fact, he doesn't include himself in.
Interesting.
And you could go back right through his life where he'll give you a list of people who left him out, or they left him out, and he's sensitive to it. He's really sensitive to it. Yet he doesn't include himself in. So he's not in the team. That's what I said to Eric. It's like you get people who's like, you know, if you get somebody in like a rock band or something, you might have like, the guitar player has got, say they've got this. They're not in the band. They're just trying to get their own, you know, solo thing together. Mm-hmm. So Michael can't be vulnerable emotionally. Even though he's got Jupiter in Pisces, which gives him a universal, he thinks God's on his side for definite. Like there's no doubt about that. God is definitely got behind there, the religious urge behind him is God's done this for me. Like I'm a child of God and I'm God's special creature.
So is he a religious or spiritual man?
He's definitely religious, but maybe not in the classical sense that we think, but like he's absolutely religious beyond belief.
Huh.
Absolutely full on. Like but even though if he wasn't aware of it himself, secretly in himself, he'll be thinking that he's God's special child, like he's close to God, like he feels like he's close to God, and God, and because he's close to God, God is giving him this special platform on which to play, right? But when it comes to his personal relationships, his intimacy, Michael is absolutely terrified.
I think just adding to that, I think something that, like, he won 3 championships and then he retired, went to play baseball. Like, he just needed a new challenge. He needed something to
Well, he also he didn't fit in. Notice how he didn't fit in again. So he's not part of that either.
Yep.
He keeps putting himself in situations where he's not fitting in. So he leaves himself out. And he would the same with the baseball, Eric, I bet. I bet he wasn't part of the team either.
So he leaves himself out and then kind of blames people for leaving him out. Which
he doesn't include himself in.
He doesn't include himself in.
And then he blames people for leaving him out.
Huh. Is that something that changes? Go ahead.
No, well, not unless he has a conversation like this. Like, if I sat down with him and had a conversation with him for a while, he would definitely figure it out. But as it stands, he's terrified of being vulnerable.
See, and that's the stuff that you do in your readings, right? That's what I've been trying to explain to people. It's like, you're not talking about bad days next Tuesday. You're talking about these kinds of core issues that people need to know about themselves. Otherwise, you put yourself into this situation where you're always kind of almost at odds with yourself, right? So
I think a lot of the times we are, and we just, Jung said the best. He said, know thyself. Because it gives you a choice. Then you've got a choice. Like if you don't, because this stuff's like swirling around in the background, and you think it's, you think it's because of this or because, no, it's like there's really simple ways to address this that people can understand about themselves. And Michael is terrified of being vulnerable. That's what's behind the curtain. So if you got with Michael, you wouldn't be his close friend. Nobody is.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a close friend.
And even some of the guys like on the team who, like nowadays, there are certain guys I'm sure he talks to, but then I've seen other instances where they've had falling outs. Like they don't talk. He maybe bashed them a little bit in his documentary. They did the same. So it's really fascinating.
Michael definitely is not part of the team. So I mean that's the one thing you can take away from this that's an absolute bang on. He's not part of anything, and also having Saturn in the 8th house. When it comes to Saturn in the 8th house, it means the 8th house is where you can kind of be inclusive. I have Venus in Scorpio, so it's easy for me to do it. It's easy. I can be vulnerable. I can tell you things about myself. Nobody attacks me. And I just don't think they're going to, and I don't think if I tell them something about myself, they're going to attack me. It doesn't occur for me that way. And therefore they don't. Michael's the opposite. Michael can't, he's terrified, he's locked up of letting anybody know what's going on with him emotionally because he sees a sign of weakness and he makes him vulnerable. Wow. So somebody like me would scare the living daylights out of me. Because if I went in there with a conversation,
I could
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't mean he's like a bad man, or I don't mean it like that. It's just that Michael's behind the curtain. He's terrified of intimacy. He probably has a tough time. Probably has a tough time, with his intimacy things with his girlfriends or wives or whatever they are.
Interesting. Is he married?
Yes.
He's long term, or
he's been married. He had an ex-wife, so on his second marriage.
Okay, for how long?
It's been at least 15 years.
All right. Well, so he can
So that could be the. I would say if I was a betting man, right? I would say that Michael probably will never trust anybody 100% ever.
Interesting.
Imagine being Scorpio on crack cocaine. That's how Michael is in terms of his paranoia about what people's after him and well, what do you want and why are you talking to me like, well, what did that mean? Why did you say that?
Wow.
So Michael's paranoid. He's always thinking people are after him all the time. Because he can't be vulnerable. Like he's got that wall up. He's got the wall thing, and then he's just standing behind his wall watching these. It's like an atmosphere, and these meteors are hitting the atmosphere, and he's watching them come in and hoping that none of them get through.
Yes, I mean, this is what's so fascinating about this. It's what they show the world, right? And then what they really are. So we're out of time. Thank you, Francis, as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, Eric he's so smiling, Francis, you have no idea. Anyway,
one last thing, he has Pluto square the moon. The guy's never safe, so he's terrified the whole time. Sorry, I just wanted to get that in there.
Look at you, Eric, all this background information. Thank you. You've been listening to Behind the Curtain with Francis Dunnery. You can book him at francisdunneryastro.com or through Moonstone and Sage. We're going to be off for the next 2 weeks for the holidays, and then we're going to be back in January. So we will have a whole different person to be talking about then. Thanks.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
See you in the new year.